Come, I hope. Yeah, you can see the overlay inside, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Nikhil Bhai has also joined now. अरे निखिल भाई यू आर नॉट
क्या बोल
समाज
रहे
के लिए
सॉरी क्या बोल रहे सॉरी
अंधेरा अंधेरा कायम रहे युवा विकास
हाँ मतलब अभी अनप्लान्ड था थोड़ा पर अभी ठीक है कोई नहीं ऐसे ही ज्वाइन कर लेंगे
just like the day went for many experts, huh?
दैट्स ओके पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ
Okay. Yeah, so we have already went live and Bharat sir has joined us today. So first of all, a big thank you to him.
I have to
Let
thank
him.
you for inviting.
No, no. Big thank you, John. So and since you're down, so the I think probably the biggest eve for most of the South African fans tonight. Hardly they will sleep. What you would say? What went good for them and what went bad for Australia? Especially you have already mentioned that there's some technical happening with Cummins, but apart from that,
Yes, for starters, South Africa played really well. You have to give it to them.
yeah.
They played with a lot more freedom. That is the main part. I understand there was less sea movement. I still don't know why there was as much as zero point 0.7 degrees of average sea movement on day two, because there wasn't a thick covering of grass, but still there was considerable movement on day one and day two, especially off the seam. But today there was less movement. Still, having said that, South Africa played with more freedom. Even someone like Wayne Mulder came out and
Yeah,
played with some,
intent.
which I didn't expect, because having watched him over 6 years, that is something you don't expect from him. But still, he played well, and Markram was magnificent. Occasionally, he makes you remember AB de Villiers. That is occasionally. I'm not saying he's in AB de Villiers' class or something on those lines, but the way he plays with the back foot, he sometimes makes you remember the great man. So
Yeah.
he looked in great touch. He had that little more time on his hands, and Bauma, the last 2 years he's averaging about 55, 57 or whatever
Mhm.
in test cricket. So he's a very gritty player. So they did well on that count. But yes, a few things Australia could have got it right. For example, Bauma had an injury. He definitely picked up an injury.
Yep.
But they still spread the field. There are too many singles out there, too many easy singles, and that really didn't help Australia. And a few other things. Yes, they tried the wobble ball. There's someone like Hazelwood still tried the hybrid wobble that he used it really well in the first innings against Stubbs. Stark also tried his fair share of three-quarter seam. So they
Mhm.
tried those things in terms of what they could have done differently in terms of bowling. I'm not very sure. Maybe they could have tried a few more short deliveries. That is one thing. Sometimes I have against this Australian pace trio, that they don't use the short stuff as much as they perhaps should, because they definitely have a little bit of pace in the tank. They could have tried it. I don't think they tried it enough right until the fag end of the day. Only then they tried a few short deliveries at Bauma. That is something that could have gone against them. Other than that, not much. I think the condition just got better, and yeah, the credit has to go to South Africa for coming out and playing
So
with great.
few things I have in my mind, but before that, we got one question from Indian cricket out that does today's match remind us of first test versus India this year? Uh, we have discussed yesterday that this match could go similar to that 11-11-11 2011 test where Michael Clark scored a beautiful century and then 96-47 and then Dean Smith just cruised
Yes, yes,
through in the
yes,
fourth inning.
yes,
So
yes.
the and Nikhil Bhai said that if South Africa has to win, then one of them from top three has to play like Dean Smith
Especially
and
because,
Markram.
yeah, because you
Yeah,
look at Green, you look at Jensen. Jensen is a very nervy cricketer. Very in at number seven, yeah, he's played some useful knocks, but still quite inexperienced in Bedingham as well. Quite inexperienced. So one of the top
yeah.
three had to score.
And this match also reminds me one. I was from my point of view, the Graham is his finest inning he played in that Birmingham in 2008, 154.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, and coincidentally the target was almost same
Yeah, that's
with
282. Yeah, 282
yeah
or something on
yeah
this line.
222 yeah, and he was also suffering from back injury before that
Yes.
game.
Yes.
and Bauma also got injured. So many questions. Yeah, the thing what yeah, see, I am a hardcore Aussie fan, and
Yes.
I have
Yes.
mentioned yesterday that I'm not sure why that in fourth inning somehow I this Aussie attack just doesn't give me confidence.
Leads, Lords, now and
Yeah,
Baya
lead
for
for even that Baba Azam 196, and
yes.
even if you go that Gaba is already famous before that Gaba Sydney happened,
Even the
and
23
even
Ashes leads, 23 Ashes leads.
yes, one Sydney with England also when 9 wickets they have taken.
Yes.
Uh, so almost they
Yes.
have bowled 100 plus over. So they have won many matches, but with this quality portrait, I mean, they call that portrait in the same breath as famous historical portrait, but I think it's kind of disappointing. Yeah, for today we can say that conditions got better, and but as you mentioned that still they could have tried, but yeah, kudos to South African team. And the questions got Markram is like Maxwell in test, struggle in flattest of condition, but can score when no one is hoping. Yeah, this could be the breakthrough inning for Markram. The years of backing and potential.
Yeah,
He,
he's someone who is definitely seems to be growing in terms of stature. He played a great knock in sorry Centurion as well. They 89 around those lines, and Mohammad Abbas was bowling a lot of verbal stuff in that particular innings, and I think he played
Mhm.
really well on that cracked up surface. So he's definitely growing in stature.
Yeah.
But I definitely
So
want to make that point that Australia could have definitely tried a few more short stuff. See, I grew up watching, yeah, I didn't watch Jeff Thompson and Dennis Lee live, or I didn't watch
mhm,
Ray Lindwell live, but even the McDermotts of the world, or the Glenn McGraths of the world, Gillespies of the world, obviously the Brett Lees of the world, the one thing they had was when Australia really needed wickets, they would bang it short, they would
bang and
have that
shot.
kind
Yeah.
of presence on the field. Somewhere in
Mhm.
the fourth innings, I feel that a little bit is missing with Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood. I'm not taking anything away from their greatness, but in the fourth innings, they don't seem to have that kind of presence that what can I say mongrel that you get with a fast bowler. Sometimes
Mhm. Yeah, and they could have got. I don't know whether it is a missed chance or what. But Smith got injured because it's
yes,
a
yes,
very nasty shot. But yeah, this is how cricket goes. So
yeah.
one cheeky comment comes from Leader that South Africa is in a perfect position to break hearts again. Do you think that something like this could happen even now?
Oh, South Africa, anything can happen. Having watched them over 33 years, Duckworth Lewis to a strange rain rules, Ellen Danal getting dropped to
All possible scenarios.
to 30 of 30 balls and losing. So, yeah, anything
Yeah.
can happen. I still have a gut feel. I don't know whether I'm jinxing it. Last year also, I told if South Africa are going to end the title drought, it is there on Twitter that it will be under. I have a gut feel that it could be under Tembe Bavuma. Something makes me feel that way. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
uh,
And
maybe
this, I have just mentioned possibly that in our preview session before that game starts, that if we have to pick one team, ideally that which team should represent for you in the final, I think most of the people will pick Australia.
yes, yes,
And on the other side, if you have to pick one team which should lose, most of the people will pick South Africa. And ironically, both teams have met only once in a global tournament, though it was not international. But South Africa had won last time as well in Commonwealth
yes.
finals. So, so uh, this is how I mean. You cannot expect logic sometimes in cricket. So one another comment came, comments on captaincy in bowling against Bowma. So I think Bharat already mentioned that yeah, Cummins could have tried some more things, especially short balls. And yeah, he mentioned this also that letting him running so many singles and doubles even when he was hopping.
Yeah, that I just want to add one more point to it. See, these are tall hit the deck bowlers, so
Yes,
you can definitely get bounce. So I don't know what exactly goes behind the scenes, obviously, but even Stark is a tall bowler, though he's not a hit the deck fast bowler in that sense, but he will also get bounce. So they should have
and
definitely tried a few more short deliveries.
nobody could have predicted that with the some rich form Hazelwood came in this game, he would be the least. effective bowler in terms of wickets.
Yeah, but I
At
just
least even MBD has
yes,
picked clusters of wicket in second inning.
yes,
So and maybe this could give a very short group of some fans, but still some fans advocated bowl and inclusion. So
yeah,
do you think
yes.
this?
Yeah, sorry if I'm getting into your what you are saying because maybe
No, no, no.
I'm when you were talking, I was also trying to talk, so that's why I said. But if I
Okay.
want to add a point on it, see, Hazelwood bowled a lot in the IPL, so
Mhm.
that could have gone against you. What happens when you bowl a lot in the IPL is you get stuck into the defensive length. Basically, you bowl a lot of short of length, good length. Jimmy Anderson also said before this Lord's Test, and I also pointed out that at Lord's you have to bowl a little bit fuller. It's not about hitting top of off stump. It's perhaps a little bit below that top of off stump. So if it's not exactly good length, I think Hazelwood bowled a lot of good length stuff, and
Hmm.
that could have gone against him if he had gone a little bit fuller. He might have got a wicket or two. It might have come from the IPL only. Something that happened to Bumrah in the 2021 Test Championship final. They
Yes.
went into the final after the IPL. He bowled a lot of short of length, good length. See, with a new ball, if you're going to bowl good length at Lords, especially from the pavilion end with the kind of natural variation you are getting,
Hmm.
then you're only going to beat the bat a lot. So I think that is what went against him. And Scott Boland is a very good seam bowler. Yes, in hindsight, he could have
Yeah.
played. See, the best thing about Boland, I feel, is his action itself because see, he's coming with his all his arms everywhere. So the batsman is seeing where is the release point, where is the release point. I think some right-handers especially miss out on the release point, and that is why they struggle to pick the variation, the one that goes away from the right-hander, especially the right-hander. So I think that is where it really works for him as a seam bowler. Obviously, he's consistent with his lines. He seems it a bit, and he has a wobble ball as well. But the section itself gives him that advantage in seam in conditions where the ball seems around. Yes, on a flatter deck, he might be hit for a few runs. So yes, in hindsight, he could have played a part.
Yeah. So another question came that Cameroon Green is almost non-existent in this text. Not visiting for a small scale show discussion. Same like India burnt out Bumrah and never trusted anyone, though Australia have better options. Yeah, Cameron Green, same thing. And they tempted with his rich form in county, I would say, but it shows that the vast difference between Division Two and international level.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
when and one interesting comment I have read somewhere. I think that uh, the first 2 days where pitch conditions were extremely helpful for bowlers. Australia batted twice and lost 18 wickets,
mm,
and South Africa batted once and lost 10 wickets. Today, when things got better, then Australia had only 2 wickets in hand, and still they, they achieved
that's
what they kept. So this is where I mean, if there's a toss and decision also very crucial because anywhere winning the toss in the big game and choosing field first is a still kind of taboo.
but But here, if I have to add something, it is
Mhm.
unpredictable. See, the conditions have been a little bit unpredictable, even for the, I would say, the best of experts. Because as I
Yes,
noted,
yes.
yesterday it seemed around zero point 0.7 degrees. I'm not thinking about swing in the air. It seemed zero point 0.7 degrees on an average basis. That is enough sea movement. I know at times it can also seem around 1.2, 1.3 degrees on an average, but zero point 0.7, zero point 0.8 is enough sea movement. I'm not thinking about swing here, and suddenly today it might be I have not seen a stat today, but it could be something like zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.3 degrees of sea movement. That's a lot less sea movement, so hard to predict because there hasn't been a thick covering of grass. It's not like there's, yeah, maybe on day one there would have been a little bit of moisture up front for the ball to seam around like that, wobble seam like that, but it's not like there's been some 6 mm thick covering of grass to tell, yeah, this pitch will be green mamba or on those lines. But on first days it seemed like it was at least, if not green mamba, it seemed like considerable movement off the deck. So that is something that's surprising. But I just want to add a point on Cameron Green as well. I think it's a little unfair on him in the sense that I don't think he's a
Yes.
number 3 batter. I'm telling you straight, I don't think he's a number three batter. If you look at my Twitter account, I said it before the test itself when someone asked how to get him out. That he plays with hard hands, pushes at it. So most likely the bowler will come from slightly wider of the crease, get it to angle in, he'll push at it and get caught at second slip. First innings he got caught at second slip, second innings he got at the third slip. So that's a problem with him because he plays a lot of T20 cricket maybe. So I think it's best suited at number five. If they're still going to pick him, he should play at number five just as purely as a batsman. But I don't think he's number three. And I agree, definitely agree. County division attacks, especially Division 2 attacks,
Yes,
are
yes.
really poor. Unless, say, our great Jimmy Anderson at the age
Jamie
of
Anderson or
still
Kyle
going,
Abbott.
still going playing for Lancashire at the age of
Like,
42. Leave him. Then the Division 2 attacks are pretty bad.
so it will be very interesting to see how Australia is going for their next series because I'm not sure what is the extent of Smith injury,
Yes,
whether he will be available for the Indies series or even his MLC gig will be in doubt. And Khwaja future is also uncertain.
yes.
And Labuschagne also we not sure whether he's a stopgap opener or they want to continue with him as an opener. So their entire top four actually is uncertain.
Yeah, this Australia's batting, obviously, see, they have good, talented pace bowlers coming through. I know I watched Widler. He looks like a very talented pace
Yes.
bowler. Bartlett looks decent enough. I won't say he's a great prospect, but looks decent enough.
Fergus O'Neill.
Yeah, couple more. Yeah, he's also decent on Australian conditions. Might be useful, but in terms of batting talent, I'm not very sure. Barring a couple of them, maybe Peak looks in under 19 cricket at least he looked decent.
Mhm.
English has definitely improved his game against pace, but I don't know how will he go in Test cricket. So I think Australia have some problems at least on the batting front. Constas, he will play the way that is how he will play. That is at the
Yeah,
top
you
of
can.
his. He
Yeah.
makes even Ben Duckett look like a traditional Test match batsman, Sam Constas. So you don't know what you'll get with him. But yeah, they have a few issues. See, Australia's, in my humble opinion, this is just in terms of raw potential. I'm not thinking about his technique because I understand his technique is non-existent. In terms of raw potential only, I feel Jake Fraser McGurk is the most talented batter, but only in terms of raw potential. But his technique is non-existent. That tells you that maybe young Australian batters are also not looking at Test cricket as I don't know. I can't sit here and assume, but it feels like maybe they're prioritizing T20 cricket as well because you
And
look at the
even
batter.
if you see those options like Peter Hanscom or some other guys, so they're all middle order batters. You won't find any young guys coming for
Yes,
top order position.
yes,
One interesting thing I just wanted to ask you that there is a perception daily keep getting changed, or especially on social media. So one day if team getting all out, so thinks that batters forgot how to bat or pitches became too bowling friendly. But what this just came in my mind that in recent years, uh, fourth inning chase became quite easy compared to previous years.
true.
I
So
mean, and it's not about only historical chases like Headingley or Pereira or Gaba. Even
yes,
if you see like England, I think they have won 5 or 6 consecutive 250
yes,
plus chases. Then even this Ashes also they have Cummins chase 282, then Leeds 254. So now if every team, I remember in 90s when even 200
yes,
plus chase in fourth inning, no. So we as a watcher, oh
yes.
no, it's not going to happen. But now, what do you think? Is it a kind of T20 on limited over effect, or what? What is the change?
Could be T20 cricket effect, could be because batters are playing a lot more shots.
Hmm.
Sometimes it helps if you just go out there and play with freedom. See what happens sometimes is if you just try to block against quality bowling, 15 overs, 30 runs, one wicket, then you're
Yes.
allowing the opposition to be on top. So T20 effect, it could be mindset has changed because of again limited overs cricket, but it is definitely true. Even yesterday, I was telling that South Africa need a kind of miracle because I am still in the 90s. I understand that sometimes
Same
90s
feeling.
a lot of losses. Even 120 team can't chase 120, and
81.
yeah, I know what I'm referring to. You know what I'm referring to. and the team can't chase what was score 100 against West Indies, Zimbabwe getting bowled out for
Zimbabwe,
66.
yes, yes, yes.
I've seen a lot of such stuff. So this is a little bit different. So I have to again get used to it. Just like what happened with T20 cricket. Sometimes
Yeah.
I used to argue that that was not now 2017-18, 180
Mm.
can't be chased. And I thought to myself 200 can't be chased and 230 now in T20 cricket even 250 seems like occasionally can be chased. So yeah, I have to change my mindset. There definitely I think T20 cricket, WTC cricket has had its effect on it.
And yeah, a few words for Babuma as a leader, not for only this game, but how he leads throughout this cycle. Because we mentioned before this in a preview that many people have started this narrative that South Africa is undeserving
Uh,
for this
I,
final.
yeah.
So
See, is finally you have come to the final, so you can't tell much about that. Yeah, I understand what where it is coming from. We understand the kind of teams they played, whatever it is, but still the way they played it in the Centurion Test, it seemed like they would lose that particular test with the way Mohammad Abbas was bowling and Bauma was caught out, and then it was Rabada and I think Jameson who took them to victory. So the way they played, they
mhm,
deserved it. And Bauma, I think, is a good leader of men. Tactically, occasionally, may not be the best, though he has shown that he believes in gut feel. I've seen that a few times that he believes in gut feel, but I think he's a good leader of men. And a South African team like South Africa needs it because you
yeah,
know what I'm referring to. Because there is division out there in the country, not
yes,
just in the team. So they need a leader who can understand each player and is a good man manager. I think Bauma is a good man manager. It seems like he can get the best out of even someone like Kagiso Rabado. Seems at least from an out for an outsider, it feels like whenever I've covered the match, a test match on those lines, it feels like sometimes he can get a little bit moody. But I think Bauma gets the best out of his spirit.
even for engaging inclusion, he has mentioned that this decision is tactical, and he has given a solid reason. Even the first inning it backfired, but second inning he got his redemption.
Yes,
So
Yengidi also bowled well. So he's good swing bowler. Something that is surprising me because when he started out, he was a hit the deck pace bowler, clearly an out and out hit the deck pace bowler. Yesterday he was swinging it late. In the first innings, he was all over the shop, but in the second innings, he swung it late. So he swung it in this innings or in this match. I would challenge that he has swung it more than Mitchell Stark. That is, if you consider the
mm,
second. I'm not saying he's
yeah,
bowled better than Stark because Stark also has that three-quarter seam ball and that is
mm,
how he took a couple of his wickets. But in terms of generating swing in the second innings, he was getting a lot of swing. So again, some credit has to go to Bauma maybe because maybe he was the man who motivated him. Who knows?
yeah. So one question, I mean, it could be heartbreaking for me, but I want I wanted the answer from you that Amit Dubey, I'm only curious if Aussie spirit is shaken or not.
That I think you have to answer because
I have posted one long post also before this game, and this I have discussed in previous session also that even after few years, if somebody will ask to my grave no, then my grave also will say that same thing that Aussie positive. But if South Africa somehow win this game, I think the positive impact will be much higher than what the shaken or negative spirit for Australia. As the saying goes for the BJP, "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas." So my father just
second
called
time
me.
he's
Hmm?
telling too much posh English, so we can talk in Hindi.
Okay. No, I just told that whenever Australia in losing position, so first thing first, my father and my brother started calling me for teasing. So my father called me and said that since this is BJP government going on, so Australia should also follow the Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas model. That we should give other team chance as well doing something. Uh, Jokes apart, this will as saying monkey off the back. So this will have a huge impact on all uh, previous South African legends, be it 92, 96, 99, and uh, I will post definitely. I have in mind that in this lot, this is how we call it poetic. This is that Here, Graham Smith announced his leadership with consecutive double centuries in 2003, and then in I think 2013 tour here only they have got the Mace for that year, ICC Mace, and now at same ground, hopefully they will win tomorrow. So it
It
will
will
be.
change for them.
Hmm?
See, one example I will give. See, I went to cover the Women's World Cup final in Dubai. What I saw was at least 5,000 South African fans came over there. I was really surprised. I counted about 4 New Zealand fans in that. Couple of them were Indian fans, but about 4,000 South African fans made a beeline entry to that stadium. So I was really surprised. So South African fans really want to see South Africa winning. That's what I see. And hopefully, at least from their perspective, they will change their history because the rugby team wins. The rugby team keeps winning. If you want me to talk in Hindi, आपने देखा होगा कि उसके साउथ अफ्रीका के रग्बी टीम बहुत बार जीत चुके हैं, बहुत बार जीत चुके हैं, मगर
It's very refreshing to hear you in Hindi.
मगर साउथ अफ्रीका का क्रिकेट एक बार भी नहीं जीते हैं. तो hopefully from their perspective they will win something.
Yeah,
From the
and
fans
as
as well.
this
Yeah,
trend
because
is going on social media. Yeah, sorry, you're saying something.
no, I just wanted to say from their fans' perspective as well, because I can see that one could see that in that Women's World Cup final. It is not a men's cricket final, even for a Women's World Cup final. If you get so many fans, then
Yeah,
they are really craving
and
for it.
this will be a major boost for Test cricket as well because winning from only let's say big three, not big three, big two only because England anyway is not going to qualify for final. So, but apart from any big two, is winning first New Zealand now South Africa. So it gives other team chances as well because few days back I heard Darren Sammy statement that he said that they wanted to win 2029 WTC Championship.
Yeah,
So
he's telling he's planning for it. That is why they're making some changes. You never know, but
yeah,
their
so
batting
this is
lineup has to improve a lot.
no, so this is coming from a team which is a benchmark for T20,
Yes,
and
yes.
I guess this the South Africa president also have posted on Twitter something about. So this
Hmm.
gives. I mean, people usually throw that WTC is irrelevant or this is a fraud concept. So this, if South Africa will win, it will be a big boost for Test cricket.
Yeah, it's
So
true. See, what I want to add in that is, I think the Professional Cricketers Association took one poll of all cricketers going around, and in that 15% of them did tell that World Test Championship is the biggest prize, ICC prize
yeah,
going around. It must be picking some ground. It was something like 49% for the ODI World Cup, 36% for the T20 World Cup, around 14-15% for the World Test Championship final. In 2019, it was something like 85% for 50-over World Cup and 15% for T20 World Cup. See how it has changed. So World Test Championship is definitely picking up among the players. So that's a good sign for Test cricket.
yeah. Nikhil bhai, you have uh,
जी सर
any
बताइए.
नहीं तो चेहरा क्यों छुपा लिया सर मेरी टीम हार रही है आप क्यों
क्योंकि सर मैं ट्रैवल कर रहा हूँ तो
ओके ओके
शक्ल तो
ओके
बहुत ज्यादा खुश है. मतलब 1 साल से राह देख रहा था मैं, पर अब अभी बाकी है. अभी और 59 रन चाहिए. एक बार वो हो जाए फिर चेहरा क्या हम 2 घंटा लाइव कर सकते हैं. इतना कुछ है बात करने को.
ओके तो आप अपना बताइए क्या आपका रहा आज का सारे प्रेडिक्शन वाले सब तो आज रफा दफा हो गई होंगी
हाँ, मेरे को बस एक बहुत चुभ रहा था कि माकरम को बहुत लेट बॉलिंग दी. बहुत जल्दी
दिस वी
बॉलिंग
हैव
दे
डिस्कस
देनी चाहिए थी. हाँ, क्योंकि
and I
थोड़े
have
उसने
mentioned
टर्न.
about this your prediction yesterday which you said that no that one from the top 50 has to play like Graham Smith
हाँ, और वो ग्रेम स्मिथ देखो दोनों तरीके से हुआ कि माकरम बैटेड डीप एंड बवुमा आल्सो
yeah
बैटेड विद एन इंजर्ड वन लेग. तो
yes
ऑस्ट्रेलिया के सामने आई थिंक वी डिस्कस द एग्जैक्ट सेम चेस दैट हैपेंड
yes
इन पर्थ, that you need that character from the top order to bat deep, because then it sets up the game for the rest of the batting, which is full of stroke makers. So, I mean, for South Africa, you could not have planned it better. Or I don't know what you two guys discussed about Australia, but I don't think Australia could have had a bit more runs. क्या आपको लगता है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया को और थोड़े runs चाहिए थे? क्योंकि I
No, no,
think
no,
280
no,
was
no.
enough.
See, I think 80% of the people would have satisfied with yesterday total itself. Am I right, Barsa?
So can you tell again?
Uh, what Nikhil bhai was saying that could Australia needed few more runs? Then what I implied that I think 80% of the fans would have satisfied with yesterday total itself.
Yeah, that's because of how South Africa definitely played. That they would have
Yes.
felt someone was telling South Africa would only get 120 runs,
Hmm.
so they would have felt like that.
Yeah. So I don't think that even 250 is if you're losing after if you're not able to defend 250, then it's your bowling failure. You cannot say that 20, 50 more runs would save you.
Yeah, because, and I think I'm sure you guys already discussed about Nathan Lyon. How much do you think? Because I think Abhishek
I
already said it
told
yesterday.
I told you that I
Yeah,
was that hopefully in this game he would not get much bowling, but unfortunately, but today I don't think he bowled that bad as his figure suggested. I mean, Bharat sir can correct me, but as the fortune favored the brave, but he got some big uh, run, but even Kerry couldn't able to pick him sometimes.
Yes, if you want to talk about Hazelwood, right?
Yes, no, Leon, Northern Leon.
The line Nathan line bowled okay, but there wasn't much in it in terms of what he was bowling. There is a little bit of turn in that from that surface, a little bit of overspin he was getting. Uh, I don't think he could have done much. He's not a spinner, not a mystery spinner, or not someone who has a lot of variations. So he did stick to his basics. Bowled outside off, got a lot of overspin, and South Africans played him well. Markram is someone who is really good against spin bowling. So especially Nathan Lyon is a good record against Nathan Lyon. So that is how I think he was negated. I don't think he could have done much different. Maybe he could have
I think
a
Mark
little bit.
Markram has played, if I remember correctly, in that sandpaper series in first game also fourth inning he had scored I think 140 or 143 with
Yes.
Quinton de Kock. Sometimes I mean they were chasing huge target, but at some point they have made it like that they could do something. So yeah, he has some good. You pointed out very well that he played very well in Leon. Nikhil bhai, any more your expert comment or predictions for tomorrow? I mean, or it could be formality. At one point I thought they would ask for 30 minutes extra if, today itself.
yeah. I think I actually feel कि अगर बहुमा fit होता तो हो
Hmm.
जाता game आज खत्म. But बहुमा fit
Yes,
नहीं था,
yes,
which
yes.
meant plenty of their threes were not threes, they were twos. Plenty of twos were only ones. So that
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
played a part. But I am only going to. Yeah, it's very difficult to sleep today. Again, not because I'm saying कि भाई because I'm a South Africa fan or something like that, but it is just कि there are times when this team has lost so much from
Hmm.
winning positions. You just don't want this to be added to that list. So uh,
Yeah.
I think it is very. The good thing that they have done is they've kept it below 70, which means
Sorry.
any. The good thing is they've kept the runs below 70. मतलब ऐसा
Yeah.
टारगेट रखा है
Hmm,
जिसमें
hmm, hmm. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
जिसमें
That's what
you can
my
take
father
time
also said
also.
that with South Africa, even if 80, 90, then still you will give the chance to opponent. But once it will below 50, then only you can take a sigh of relief.
बिल्कुल और I think one more thing that will play a part is how well South Africa adapted and ensured that Australia did not bowl a lot of dot balls, because
Hmm,
if you
hmm,
see they always went at a good rate. अब ऐसा भी नहीं हुआ ना कि they will get a second new ball. So that
yeah.
I think is also a very important factor that, and I don't know why, if it's already said, but I felt the commentary in the first session was very biased in terms of how everybody,
What
maybe I want to
commentary?
name, yeah, I mean Ian Smith,
No,
I almost
I
felt as if
cannot tell you because I have Never heard any commentary in live game from last 10, 12 years.
I know I heard today, unfortunately, and it almost
Okay.
felt as if they were like, the more they bat, the better it will get for them to bowl. But how? What are you seeing like that you can say something like that? I mean, if Hazelwood can play 45 balls, surely
Hmm.
there is enough in the surface that South Africa can also apply. So I just felt very one way traffic that it just kept building up. Now Australia will just crush South
But
Africa, and
this is not how I mean most of the commentary panel goes that they often take side with the big teams, not with the
and
underdogs.
again, it is wrong. Again, as I say, it is wrong for anybody, no matter
Yes.
who that team is. It just my only problem is you. I'm okay if you take sides, but the
Okay.
only
One
thing is, yeah,
some
you should just have enough
kind of
on. Yeah,
controversial question came, which kind of Bharat sir has mentioned in the starting itself before we went live that the question is bold. That Cummins is just empty bag of air without Smith by his side. What he wanted to say in that uh, all the technical decision Cummins could take only when Smith presents in field. So what do you think about it?
I don't necessarily agree, completely agree. See,
Yeah.
the good part about Pat Cummins is a good leader of men. So someone
Hmm.
who can galvanize his side with his performance. He can take 5 first, 6 first. So someone who can galvanize his side is a good man manager. So I don't exactly agree. He's completely rubbish as a captain, but tactically sometimes it feels like he gets a little too defensive for a bowling captain. He perhaps gets a little too defensive at times, spreads the field too easily. That is something that you don't get with Steve Smith. If I remember in the Champions Trophy final in Dubai, uh, Steve Smith couple of times almost got a wicket for Australia with his
Yeah.
captaincy itself. He had a man at short mid on or something on those lines, and suddenly a couple of chances went there, and Australia almost took a wicket. So I think he's tactically a better
No,
captain.
even in Sri Lanka series.
Yes, yes, he's technically a
Yeah.
better captain, but I'm not very sure Pat Cummins is rubbish captain or on those lines because whatever you tell about him, it took costly to something an unbelievable 2023 World Cup victory that no one expected. So he must be a good leader of men. May not be tactically the best leader, but is I think a good leader of men.
Yeah, and then even in test series also, so that they are pretty consistent. I think apart from that BGC 2023, they haven't lost any series so far. So they have won almost everywhere or they won the series. But yeah, and especially when they came in England, then Cummins' tactical decision got more exposed last time with Basbal on this time with fourth inning.
Yeah, that
I
is
believe.
something that surprised me. The 2023 Ashes, at least. Yeah, that
Hmm.
series is drawn to all, but after a few overs, itself, Australia had the field spread at Edgbaston. Yes, they won that test thanks again to Pat Cummins' uh, batting in the end. But in terms of his field placements after just 4 5 overs, as soon as Zach Ravely hit a few boundaries, the field was basically spread. So he's basically a modern day captain who believes that you don't need really attack in test cricket, but it is kind of worked for him. So fine.
So another point came that because Cummins spread out the field, the chances Stark created was ballooned up. Few words I wanted to hear about Stark because before this game, most of the people written off that Stark would be the weak link of this attack, and somehow he has who kept Australia in this game.
Yeah, two things about it. He's an impactful bowler. That is no doubt about that. So I won't exactly agree that he was a weakling. So
No,
let
this is the perception because
Yeah,
social media you can create.
I'm feeling that that's not exactly right. The second point is yes, it worked. The field rate cover it worked for Australia, but after how many overs was that field spread? At that time, it was maybe 16th or 17th over. I'm talking about of just for 4 overs, Australia spread the field. That is just not on. At least of 4 5 overs, when Mulder is batting, you know that he's not the most confident man going around. You could have had one more slip there. You never know. You might have got a slip. You might have created a chance on another day. So that is what I'm saying. Of just 4 overs
I
itself,
think I
uh,
think the Mulder intent have taken aback them. Nobody has expected that
yeah,
because this is not his role. He has given this anchor kind of role, and he came with all guns blazing.
this also I can take on. See, it's not about pace. Josh Hazelwood as a high arm action, 6 feet 5 inch bowler. Pat Cummins is a 6 feet 5 inch bowler, and both of them snap the back. So I don't exactly agree that it is just about pace to bowl the bouncers. It's about bounce,
Okay,
and
this is the question. Yeah, I mean, as a
so
bowler, any bowler, not about elite bowler, any bowler, fast bowler, you expect to bowl bouncer at some
yeah,
stage.
but see, that's so tall, high arm release, so they don't really need
Hmm.
to ball it, bang it very short, really.
Yeah,
They can go a little bit fuller because of that high release, the way they snap the back. So I don't exactly agree. Actually, Mark Wood has to ball it a little bit shorter because he's shorter in height to get
yes,
that same kind of bounce.
and it's not like they haven't done it before.
Yeah, definitely. One has seen that. One has seen enough of it when they really wanted to. They have done it. I just don't think they really have that kind of presence. Don't have anything against those three. They are great bowlers. Definitely great, very good bowlers. But in the fourth innings, it feels as if they don't have that kind of presence to bowl the bouncers.
निखिल भाई आ रहे हो?
हाँ सर,
पता
मैं
नहीं
यही
चलना
हूँ।
कुछ बीच बीच में अभी हम लोग
नहीं नहीं, मैं यही हूँ,
ऑलमोस्ट
मैं सुन
2000
रहा हूँ।
तक टच कर दिए थे आज हम लोग. हाँ,
बढ़िया बढ़िया, कि मौका
हाँ,
ही वैसा है तो
हाँ.
2000 टच
So
बनता भी है।
another question come. I think Hazelwood is getting lot of flack that and Boland has created a perception that even he got whacked in with baseball. So the question is that Boland has done better or less helpful pitches. I don't think that completely right statement. What do you think, Balsar?
नहीं, see, anyways, the guy who doesn't play is always
Yeah,
better. So you can never
this
forget
happen.
that.
This
I mean, nobody wanted Bolland after
yes,
first innings.
this applicable on every team and every selection. The guy who somehow couldn't able to sneak
Of
in the playing
course.
11 became the best player with his
Yeah,
eyesight.
but if you really want to criticize, I think if you really want to criticize Hazelwood, I think bold a little bit of defensive lens. That is something I pointed out. At Lords, you have to bowl maybe a little bit fuller. Maybe he was still in the IPL where he bowled a lot of back of length, good length. That might be one of the reasons.
But I think sometimes we make this analysis and everything more complex about criticizing something rather than acknowledging the opposition.
Yes,
Sometimes we have to appreciate boss whoever came in the position. The guys like McGrath also went wicketless
yes.
entire day on same date in 2 years of gap. So things could happen. So the another thing, they haven't done it enough. Likes of Johnson won series in Africa by simply bowling short. Yeah, that Johnson is doing there, but it's not like they haven't done it enough. They have won. Uh, uh, they are the defending champions of the
But they can do
WTC.
it, as I noted. So, see, they're so tall. They're so tall. They have such high releases, so they can definitely bowl a sleeve of bounces. It's just that for some reason, Australians don't try it enough in the
Hmm.
fourth.
Yeah, and also see, in I don't think in today's on if you see the entire
Mhm.
day's play, the pitch was very slow. You cannot just come in and bowl bouncers and expect things to do because the pitch has to has have
No,
bounce
pitch
and
has.
carry.
I think. I
You
think.
saw
I
how the
think
ball was
today
not
pitch has
carried.
very low bounce. No, that's why the Smith also wearing helmet.
But the point, yes, but the point is you have to understand it is not a one
Yeah.
factor thing. The pitch has low bounce, but the pitch is also losing pace. The ball is losing pace once
They
it's
have
hit on
shown
the
one
surface, which is
graphic
why
also. I forgot that they said that it was 17 degree or something
But I will,
today.
but I will
Yeah.
add a point. See, the score was 150, 160 for two. So
Hmm.
what else can a bowler try? They tried hybrid bowler. They tried the three-quarter seams. Mitchell Stark tried the three-quarter seam. They tried to swing the ball. Nothing really happened. So what else do you have? It's a slow pitch or a fast
Yeah,
pitch, doesn't matter. You
yeah.
have only one thing to do at 150 for two, 160 for two, chasing 280. You have to try something, and that is when they
Mm.
should have tried a few more short deliveries. You never know. Bauma could have top at something, and it might have landed in the midst of the fielder at fine leg. You never know. They should have definitely tried it, especially when the score was 150, 160 for two. I'm not saying they should have tried a bumpers, lots of bumpers at 40 for one or 70 for two, but at 160, 170, they had no other option because they had tried everything else. They tried even cutters. I saw them trying a few cutters. So I think they should have gone for a few more bouncers.
So now comment box have become kind of the media that all guns blazing on Aussie bowling attack. This quarter will be downfall of Aussie cricket. Pat Cummins favors his friend, which is why Boland Nasser has been overlooked. The same kind of news make headlines after Perth Test loss. Uh, and we know how that series went. Uh, One thing I would like to mention here, which so I have discussed with Harasa, that okay, everything is okay. They could have tried something else, but in England especially, I don't think any bowling attack have fared exceptionally well in fourth inning in recent games. When India couldn't able to defend almost 400 against Johnny B and Root. They make a mockery of Bolt and Saudi and Wagner. Uh, Even in last Ashes, both teams got hammered in fourth innings. So it could be something with England. We cannot. I cannot explain it statistically now, but uh, with historical evidences, yeah, it could be that. Like in New Zealand, we said that the third inning things got easier for batters. So in England, we can say that now fourth inning could be the best chance for batters. Even the last WTC final, you see, at one point India had a solid chance, 240 for three, before going to the final day.
Yes, it's true. See, I should take it or he's
No,
on.
I just mentioned it's not a question. I just
Yes, yes, yes.
in comment box I have just people
Yes.
are just throwing guns on know that compared one distance. Nikhil bhai. So
हाँ
yesterday
भाई बोलो ना.
we were asking that who will get player of the match between Cummins and Rabada. Now I think two more contenders will get added. Those unbeaten batters.
I think to me it is one clear
Mark,
winner. I don't think there is a doubt there.
who?
केजी भाई 9 विकेट लिए आपने. I know there is a century in a very
Hmm.
important one, but without Rabada's efforts of 9 wickets,
No,
you wouldn't
but
be in the game.
do you think if from remaining 60 runs, if Bowma could make 30 or 35, and he will end up with 80, 90, and then first inning, uh, 36, it could be a contender along with his captaincy.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Star Sports gives him
No, no,
because
Star
they
Sport.
like batters, but I would give it to
If
Rabada.
Star Sport has to give, they will give Markram, but Bowma will be the last candidate for him as a poster boy.
See, if Bahuma, again, it's an
Yes,
immaterial thing,
yes,
to
yes,
be
yes.
very
Yeah,
honest,
yeah, yeah,
who gets it. But I would, if you ask me, I would give it to Rabada.
yeah. Makes sense. So, but even we are discussing about the failure of Hazelwood and everything, but even Rabada couldn't able to dislodge last wicket today.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that is why sometimes you just have to respect
Mm,
conditions also. No, I mean you cannot
mm,
fight conditions. If conditions were like yesterday, Stark and Hazelwood wouldn't have had
yeah.
that partnership, and that would have meant even the South Africa would have found it difficult to chase even one. That is why we felt
Mhm.
yesterday that even 200 may be enough because everybody expected good overcast conditions, and it's not about
Yeah.
just clouds. Just the moment Kevin Peterson put out that tweet in the
Mhm.
morning, you could see that this looks like a very good. It just feels like a very good batting deck, and it was one because the pitch flattened out eventually, and that's what even
Mhm.
Hayden said that Stark is getting runs, Hazelwood is getting runs. Why should you not back yourself? So I think
Yes.
credit to Australia for fighting it, and then credit to South Africa for
Yeah.
making the most of
So
it.
another comment on that, no fourth innings on day five is bad for batting. Third day is the best. But tell me how many games are going on day five in these recent years? You can count on fingers how many games went on day five. Yes. Okay, Nikhil bhai again, I think connection lost. Again join. Okay, acha.
See, here is a
Now,
superstar, real superstar.
yeah, yeah. So what you are saying, Nikhil bhai, about the conditions got easier today, right?
Of course, they're very easy. And it's no harm accepting that test cricket will never be one trick. Ke bhai, what works one day will work the second day. And
Now,
that is how.
what will irk me? No, what will irk me? And this I'm telling as an Aussie believer that few people, I mean, so-called experts, though, who had got predicted that Australia will walk through in one way, or somehow somebody people that they will win by innings. That still they will try to put it on luck or conditions to downgrade South Africa achievements.
So that will anyways happen. That is not in your and mine control. But I honestly, if
बस
you
यही
look at
यही यही सोच
it,
तो बदलनी है.
नहीं बदलने वो तो सही है. But honestly, if I think about the game, I can't think of too many moments where Australia have lost it apart from today.
Yeah, and for me, it's the Mulder intent. Because what I was thinking, no, at worst, I was thinking that at worst, to at least they will get a new ball. If things go in deep, at least they will get a chance with new ball. But the first hour, make sure that this game is going to end before 80 overs.
But there is a clear reason
Huh?
why I told you yesterday that I would not change the batting order. I completely trust Mulder. I know Bharat already touched
No,
upon,
but even with your all experience of prediction, even you wouldn't have expected Mulder playing in this way.
but why not? I don't get the surprise factor out of it because it's not that he cannot play this way. We've seen enough of him in SA20 also. There are so many games which I remember personally where he's come in and
No,
played his
SA20,
shots.
SA20
I
is
mean, but the
completely.
point is he has the game. That
Yeah,
is
he
what I'm
has the
trying
but his
to
role in
understand.
the team, and especially
See,
after losing the
that is
first wicket early.
See, I told this yesterday also, or after day one. Mulder played in a particular way because it was a plan of the team to play a particular way.
Yep.
He played, and again, when the moment Mulder started to play shots, he got out in the first inning.
Hmm.
Till the
Yes.
time, he was very solid, very compact. The moment he started to play on the rise, he was dismissed because he was wanting to break free. So, and again, even
Hmm.
today, you don't Mulder did not come down the wicket to slash. He put the whatever he got to punch, he punched. Whatever he got to clip, he clipped. So I don't think if I mean to sum it up, if Australia tell me that they were surprised by Mulder, then I would be very disappointed in Australia. Okay, it is not about Mulder. You Markram took the game away from you. Mulder
So
was there at
Markram,
one.
yeah, that
Well, see,
surprise element that, yeah, Narasan.
See, the thing with Mulder is in the first innings, he was missing out on even Delvis down the leg side. See,
Hmm.
I'm not saying Mulder should have come and try to come down the wickets for 20 or 15 balls, but a little bit that I was disappointed was he was even missing out on Delvis down the leg side. Because of that, I think a couple of batters maybe they lost their rhythm at the other end and they lost their wickets. So it was not the best of innings in the sense that we couldn't even put Delvis down the leg side. Seven Delvis, I could count seven Delvis down the leg side in that
Hmm.
particular hour, last hour, and they got a leg by out of it. So, but in second innings, credit to him. He played just. You don't expect again. I'm not expecting Mulder to come out there and charge down the track, but he played normal cricket. That's all you want
Yes. Hmm.
Ian Mulder to do, and well done to him, and well done to the selectors for picking him ahead of
As a
Zorsey.
number three. And even in bowling, he's done his job beautifully.
Yes, he's a decent bowler. He just bowls line and length. That is what we have
Hmm.
seen in the past. There's another one who has learned that wobble seam. The South Africans all of them bowl it. They bowl different versions. He also has learned it. I was seeing it. He was bowling that three-quarter seam, and he bowls good line and length, repeatable action, and just keeps it simple. I liked how he bowled to Travis said, something that
Hmm.
our Indian pace bowlers can take. Went
Hmm.
round the wicket, cut him for room, foolish length, and cleaned him up. So it's something that you don't really see the Indian pace bowlers do, even Jasprit Bumrah to an extent until the MCG test.
No, anyway, they are not going to play Travis Head in very soon. so, so they have to worry about now baseball and their Mavericks. So from tomorrow, I think that Reese show will start. That this WTC will be in backside in first hour itself. I think. Multiple played in rule first inning he played out Red Hot Shark. Yeah, in the first inning also, even though he scored only 6 runs, but he see off the new ball. He did his job. Otherwise, who would allow instead of 4 wickets, they could have 5, 6 down on the first day. Yeah, what I had in I thought about that on same day today in 1999 World Cup in the same country, Herschel Gibbs dropped the
Yeah.
catch,
Yes, yes.
and uh, now how happy he will be. And then in 17th June they met with
So I'll always remember since 69 runs needed. So I'm not saying using South Africa, but until South Africa gets the last run, I not very 100% sure about them. They couldn't chase that
somebody
girl.
was
So
somebody was asking me what is the weather prediction for tomorrow. I mean, in England, you even if it's a long shower, you will expect they will make the play happen. What do you think will take for Australia to win from here? No, boss. I think for me, it's almost impossible.
they need 2 wickets in the first 3 overs. That will really lift their spirit. Somehow get to couple of wickets early. Ball is full of intent. That's all they can do, right? Foolish length, fit a foolish length. Try to ball with intent. Try to look for wickets, even if it means a couple of boundaries. It's fine because you have to look for wickets. Yes, if you
Yeah,
go for
only thing they can hope that conditions might get helpful for them tomorrow. Even in last hour when they get the ball change, I think the suddenly from sunny it became cloudy. So I became hopeful might have happened, but yeah, with set
how will
batters.
you get sea movement out there? It might you never know with swing, but how will you get sea movement out there? Some
Hmm.
moisture has to come or something on those lines. It has
Yeah,
been a strange pitch, as I noted, because it is not like there has been a thick covering of grass for the ball to move around so much, but it is moved zero point 0.7 degrees, average zero point 0.7 degrees of sea movement on day two. That's considerable sea movement. I honestly don't know why, and today it is a lot less, so moisture must not have been there. So somehow need little bit of moisture as well underneath.
okay, now we have done 1 hour. Usually we wrap it up in 45 hours, but yeah, today it's a special day. And I just wanted to hear from both of you guys that for me, this is the best WTC final so far from these three. What's your take?
Yeah, maybe yes. Out of the three, yes, I think so. Though New Zealand versus India had its fair share of ups and downs, ebbs and flows,
Mm,
but this is the one that looks like it's the best out of the three because it looks like more of a classic out
yeah.
of three matches.
Okay. And Bharat sir, I know I'm just milking that controversial debate again and again that for future WTC championships, what's your opinion? Whether it could be the traditional one final or as Nikhil Bhai suggested, it could be best of three. And if best of three, then I mean, what's your opinion?
Uh, I'm fine with either. I'm not very sure. See, one way to look at it is one match, then it's a knockout match. So it would bring in the pressure of playing a knockout
Yeah.
game. That's another
Hmm.
way to look at it. See, only the best can handle the pressure moments of a knockout match. And maybe I can agree with that because it is a test match, and when it comes to test cricket, maybe it's a best of three would be better off. But will the ICC have the required time to get three
Yep.
test matches out? Because such is the busy schedule. You are having some league in USA, MSL. You are having some other league somewhere else. You are having all these
And
leagues.
maybe very soon we could have 92 games in the IPL itself. Huh?
Yes.
So even this one final, they will have to find time for the one final itself.
Yes.
So Jaideep also said the same note. I would have my doubts if there were enough overs till new ball, but 70 odds are enough to score before 80 overs. Yeah. So things are heavily stacked for South Africa now. Interestingly, the first 2 days, first session went South Africa favor, and then by end of the day, Australia is a happy team. Today, first session went in Australia favor.
Actually, the better way to look at it is first way has always been the best to bat. In terms of
Sorry?
the first session, every day has been the best one to bat because both on days 1 and 2, you saw almost 13 wickets falling in the last two sessions,
No,
which
no, but
wasn't the case.
in Lords, no. In Lords, in recent, even in county game, 4, 5 county games, first session has saw the most number of wickets. After
But
first
that is
session,
otherwise for this game. This has been the again. You can understand why, right? There is a ruler effect that happens, which
hmm,
ensures that the pitch is good at the start of the day, which means for 10 almost first hour that effect is there. And
hmm,
for some reason, even today, I mean, how many balls did Stark miss? But they were all
yeah.
still wide, and it was slow. So I think uh, that the slowness of the wicket is what caught Australia very much off guard.
My heart goes for only Stark effort that he put everything what he can, but still, yeah, that's the game. Okay, so I
It will be
think,
very hard for Australia to pinpoint to individuals for this game. I think
yeah, yeah,
if
I never do that.
South Africa because
Hmm,
they did well because I mean in this game Australia had a lead.
hmm,
They had 280 as a score to defend, which in itself is very good enough. So
yeah.
uh, sometimes it's okay to lose to a better team.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah. This is my uh, principle from day one. So
yeah,
whenever Australia loses all, I think this is the irony. Even though Australia is the most decorated team or most dominated team in history, but if you find most unpredictable losses, no, you will find Australia at the wrong end. That heartbreaking. Whether it is,
I know one
and
where Australia was not at the wrong end, but okay, let's move from 2023.
no, no, that's the only you can say one game, one day. But I can tell you
Even
many
the
games
most
like.
recent is the one that counts for me.
Yeah, but even in their mind, like that Kolkata Chennai happened, then even that Mark Boucher played 173. I was that blew
There was
my
a mistake. This 92-93, one run
yeah, like,
loss. McDermott, poor McDermott.
yeah,
Even
Even
that
because
Ian,
India
Lara
was winning the
99.
game.
Ian Botham getting Jeff Thompson with a white ball at MCG. I don't remember the year 1982 or something on the stumps.
Even if you even if you sort out statistically, no, the margin lost by margin of runs 1 run, 2 and 3 and 4 run, you will find Australia most of the time.
Edgbaston test. Edgbaston test.
Edgbaston
The best,
even in Edgbaston the target was same 282.
yeah. So I'll ask one question to both of you. Okay, it is not needed that you have a specific example, but if you are asked, okay, where, which part of the game do you think is where Australia lost it? Not today, not when South Africa batted. I think post, I would not blame the conditions for Australia's bowling, but is there a moment in your mind? They said, to me, if South Africa had lost, I said this yesterday also, if South Africa would have lost, it would have been because of the first innings lead. Because I felt South Africa gave away too many runs to come back in the game. So that
Webster
was their
LBW.
South Africa. But is there a moment like that in your mind for Australia?
Not exactly. Only thing I can tell is maybe they spread the field a little too early, but other than that, I don't think they really lost this game. I would rather say South Africa won this game because they played really well. See, if you are bowled out for 138, I've seen a lot of teams. You also have seen a lot of teams. They get deflated, and
Yeah.
Australia, yes, the bat didn't bat well. The ball was seaming around. There's a lot of wobble seam. It swung a little bit for NGD and all that. But still, I've seen a lot of teams from that position lose the way. And Australia might have got a lead of 350, 400. Who knows? So South Africa fought back from there. Yes, again, Australia really seemed like they were taking the game away from them. But again, South Africa have fought back. So every single time, even on day one, they didn't take that review of Webster at one
Mm,
and for five. It seemed like Australia were well in front. They lost the last 5 wickets or 22 runs. So somewhere
22.
South Africa again and again pulled it back. So credit has to go to them. And finally, they're on the cusp of
Yeah.
victory. It's still
This,
69 needed, so I wouldn't say anything more than that other than cusp.
yeah. This is the beauty of this game that at every session you will find one team getting the upper hand and other session
Yeah.
another team getting upper hand.
The funny part
So
is Australia have been on having that ascendancy, gained the ascendancy more. It's South Africa who kept pulling things back, and finally it seems like they're in the ascendancy. That is how it feels like.
yeah. So hopefully now people will don't criticize Hazelwood staying in IPL for this.
Oh, he
Yes.
didn't make it. I don't have a
Eventually,
problem with it.
eventually, it is IPL only that is responsible for everything wrong that happens and for everything losses that happen. Wins के लिए IPL is never responsible, but loss के लिए yes.
Okay.
Is this a muscle
So
memory? Maybe he has that kind of muscle memory where he keep bowling that slightly shorter length. So I think it is got inside his head. That might
and
be
this
the reason.
happens with batters as well. Uh,
Yes.
it takes time to get adjust. Okay, so last comment, Kuldeep. I don't want to talk about India, but seeing this good bat India, I would really want Kuldeep to play all 5 tests. Jadeja, Kuldeep, and Sindhu will have really important role to play. And I have very soft corner for Kuldeep, but we will take this question from next week onwards because from day
But
one we have
remember,
yeah
with
yeah.
England, you have to remember when you are going to play two spinners, you have to always remember there's a weather factor. There is always the
But
weather
with
factor.
Jadeja, they have benefit that now they can count Jadeja as a batter,
Yes,
and they
but
should count. I'm not sure why they
spinners.
still got in this dilemma. This Shardul and Nitish they come in picture, but Jadeja they should count as a batter. Yeah, so we will discuss about this in next week. For now, we have done more than 1 hour session. So thanks a lot, Bharat sir, for joining us. Nikhil bhai, as always, found
You
from
are the man. You are a
traveling.
superstar.
No, sir, there are no stars. Our philosophy is that uh, so focusing on one star is the work of a star sports. In our galaxy, there are so many stars. Yeah, and just pardon for my bad English because my English is very bad. So
Oh, you
I
said.
can I can write English, I can read English, I can understand English. But since no,
Just
I will tell you, Nikhil, you're not audible.
you're just being humble as usual. That's all I will
No,
say.
no, 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 no. I will tell you from see. I have in I have born and brought up in Uttar Pradesh, and a very small city. So state board, Uttar Pradesh board, and you won't believe I have done my engineering, and engineering books is in Hindi. So mechanical engineering they call it as Yantrik Abhyanta. So, so you won't find anyone I think in India who have done his engineering by reading in Hindi fonts.
Yeah,
So so all
we can talk in Hindi next. हिंदी में ही बात करते हैं next time.
Bharat sir Hindi बोल ऐसा है कि Tony Cozier is saying in Hindi something. Huh? This is my favorite commentator, Tony Cozier, all time favorite. Okay, so thanks a lot, Bharat sir. We will now get by. I think it's almost 12 o'clock. So have
Yes.
a sound sleep, and tomorrow let's see Bouma will make history and create his own legacy
You're
or
trying
not.
to reverse jinx. You're trying to reverse jinx so that Australia will win.
I never believe in this jinx or this kind of nonsense. I just
South
tell
Africa,
what is in my heart.
South
Hmm?
Africa 280 all out, reverse jinx.
Do it.
Then
On
Mr. Ravi
in preview, Nikhil bhai has asked that once asked if this game ends in tie, then this could be the best thing because this is my wish. At least in my lifetime, I could see one tie test.
Well, we have seen one already, but ठीक है, one more later
No,
maybe.
tie test कहाँ देखा? कब पैदा हो गया? 86 के तब तो टाइम तो नहीं हो गया.
अरे अश्विन मतलब देखा था ना टाइट टेस्ट.
वो ड्रॉ था वो.
that happened with
Tie.
the that happened with
Only,
that Zimbabwe England test match also
yeah,
happened.
Zimbabwe England also happened.
Strike
There were
draw.
only two tie tests, 161 and 186. Both time Australia involved.
बट मेरे को उतना भी चलेगा भाई, इतना भी ज्यादा ग्रीडी आई कांट बिकम कि भाई एग्जैक्ट टाइट ड्रॉ सेम स्कोर मैच एंड ओके.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, then thanks a lot. It's, thanks to all viewers